Good afternoon, and welcome to episode 10 of the top 10 barriers between adoptive parents and their adoptees. Episode 10 is also number one on our list, the Trust Trap Takedown. Cracking the core code or crashing forever. Codemasters, welcome back to the ultimate level up series on breaking through life's toughest barriers. This is Dr. Rad, Franklin Shoemaker, PhD, licensed mental health counselor, the radical attachment disruptor. Ultimate breaker grinding since 1992. We've been raiding the deepest glitches in the human code. Fear loops, shame shields, rejection firewalls, and more. Today, we're facing the number one in-game boss. Trust Trap Takedown. Early life disruptions that trap our ability to form secure bonds. This isn't just a side quest, it's the core code that can lock us into insecurity cycles forever. Or we can shatter it and unlock unbreakable connections. Are you ready to crack this boss or crash trying? Let's dive in and grind in for the win. The boss mechanics. What is the trust trap? Picture this. In the game of life, secure attachment is your base stat. It's the foundation for trusting others, feeling safe in relationships, and building epic teams, also known as families and friendships. But when early disruptions hit, like neglect, multiple caregivers in institutional settings, abuse, or repeated separations, the system glitches hard. These traumas wire the brain into survival mode. Kids learn that people aren't reliable. If I get close, I'll get hurt or abandoned. This spawns insecure attachment styles, especially the fearful avoidant type, the chaotic boss pattern where you crave connection but fear it all at the same time, the push-pull dynamics, emotional walls, sabotage. Sound familiar? Real-world example. Foster care and adoption trauma often block secure attachments. Kids experience rejection from birth parents. And rightfully so. The very people that gave birth to them, the ones that they were supposed to be able to trust all their life, have been the very ones that rejected them. Instability in other placements or cold institutionalization. The cycle continues into adulthood. Difficulty trusting partners, friends, even themselves. And here's a stat check, which is backed up by research. While exact numbers vary by adoption type and age, Studies show that adopted children, especially those from institutional or high adversity backgrounds, face significantly higher rates of attachment challenges. For instance, late adopted adolescents show secure attachment rates as low as 32 to 67%, compared to 60 to 70% in general populations. Children with histories of neglect or institutional care are at a much higher risk for insecure or disorganized attachment. Overall, adopted kids represent about 2.5% of U.S. children, but up to 1/3 of those in therapy for emotional behavioral issues, with attachment-related struggles being a key factor. Many sources highlight that pre-adoption adversity strongly predicts attachment difficulties, far more than adoption itself. It's not all adoptees, but the risk is real and elevated, especially without intervention. Are you hooked for the win yet? Here's a clinic epic story. I worked with a family who adopted a child from prolonged institutionalization abroad. This kiddo entered fearful avoidant mode hard. Chaos reigned. Superficial charm to strangers, the disinhibited style, but explosive rejection of parents' affection. Tantrums when hugged or running away during play. Constant testing. Will you leave me too? The parents were grinding exhaustion, feeling like failed players. But we identified the trust trap. Early neglect had coded closeness equals danger. The child wasn't bad. They were just protecting a wounded core. We all leveled up together. Months of targeted work, and boom, breakthrough moments. The kids started initiating cuddles, saying, "I love you," without prompting, and regulating emotions better. Family bonds fortified. Forever mode unlocked. These stories aren't rare. With the right strategy, the boss goes down. And by the way, this same individual went on to graduate high school, attend technical and vocational training, was a self-taught guitar player, and developed his own recording label. Here's some not just tips, but fire tips. Your ultimate takedown combo. Ready for the pro straps? Here are those tested tips to shatter the trust trap. Whether you're a parent, therapist, or adult, on your own code, these work. Rebuild consistent presence. The reliability grind. Show up every single time. Predictability is the antidote to chaos. Follow through on your promises, no matter how small. I'll be back in 5 minutes, for instance. Create daily rituals, bedtime routines, shared meals, one-on-one time. And this is so important. I remember the time when we were raising our adopted children, and our adopted son who was 18 years old at the time, had to have my wife read him a bedtime story each night. Why? Because he didn't get that as a child growing up. Sometimes we have to recreate those early situations that child never experienced. For adults healing their own traps, practice self-consistency. Keep commitments to yourself to rebuild internal trust. This rewires the brain. People and myself can be counted on. Tip number 2, attachment-focused therapy. What I call the specialist raid party. And let me tell you, there are a lot of imposters out there. Yes, even therapists that pretend that they know everything there is to know about attachment and adoption. But unfortunately, it's probably one of the most uneducated fields, not only in mental health, psychology, but also with child welfare professionals, from case managers right up to judges sitting in the courtrooms. Don't solo this boss. Call in the pros, therapists like attachment-focused therapists that are registered through the attach.org, that have the training and firsthand experience. Adoption competency accredited clinicians, those that are familiar with the family dynamics of adoption. Not every therapist knows everything, even though they may pretend to. Some of the therapies, dyadic developmental psychotherapy, which is a playful, empathetic work building parent and child attunement. EMDR, or trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy. Process early disruptions without re-traumatizing. And there's other structured interventions that teach secure base behaviors. Research shows these dramatically improve attachment security in high-risk kids. Tip 3, play-based bonding. The fun unlocked. You know, sometimes when you feel burnout as a parent, you just have to get creative. You have to have a family night that's unconditional, where you forget about consequences, laugh and have fun through joy and not lectures. If I know anything as a former ESE teacher, it's kids hate lectures. Get playful. Non-directive child-led play. Follow their lead. Narrate emotions. You're building a tall tower. Boy, that looks strong. Sensory activities, swings, wrestling, cozy blanket forts. Co-regulation through touch and movement. For older kids and teens, board games, art, or shared hobbies that build we're a team vibes. The kids I work with often, they love to draw. They love to write. But if it comes across as being a chore to them, it's a turnoff. Make it fun. Play lowers defenses and releases bonding hormones like oxytocin. And here's a bonus pro tip: patience and self-compassion. Healing isn't linear. Expect rage quits and retires. Celebrate small wins. Families who've beaten this boss report deeper, more resilient connections than ever. And please understand this. I do not have a magic wand. Neither does any other therapist that I know of. Each child is different. Each child may experience the same traumatic event that had an impact on their attachment difficulties or ability to attach, may perceive it differently than the other. It may take 6 months, a year, but one thing for sure, attachment is a lifestyle. It's a lifelong process. Don't switch therapists thinking that another therapist is going to have that magic wand. The best thing you can do is commit to a therapist that knows what they're doing, and don't feed into the attachment difficulties of the child by switching to another therapist every 3 to 6 months when you think the therapy's failing. It's not that. It's the child. Sometimes it takes a long time for that guard to come down. Remember the individual I told you that now has his own recording label? It took almost 5 years for his guard to come down to start listening. You don't give up. Trap taken down families forever. Codemasters, we've done it. The trust trap shattered, core code cracked. From fearful chaos to secure triumph. It's possible for everyone willing to grind. This is a series wrap, but the raid continues. This wraps up our epic 10-episode countdown series. We've raided the deepest barriers, shattered boss-level traps, and emerged stronger. Want to replay the full countdown and relive every level? Hit up the archives at Dr. Rad, the attachment codebreaker.substack.com. Share your own wins, level up together, and keep breaking on. But hold up, squad. This is the game isn't over. Incoming transmission, an all-new mega series will be dropping soon, pulling straight from my PhD dissertation research. We're going ultra deep into the hidden science of reactive attachment disorder, the ultimate attachment glitch that outsmarts systems and traps families in endless loops. Born to bond, but couldn't. We'll expose the neurobiology, dismantle the behavior loops, traditional interventions miss, and unlock evidence-based strats to rewrite the code for good. Get your gear ready, Codemasters. The Rad Raid is next. Bigger bosses, deeper lore, total transformation. Stay tuned. And please subscribe, follow, and prepare to break limits like never before. We have a special paid subscriber subscription through the month of February for $30 annually. And that's a lifetime annual subscription rate. Don't miss out on that, because the price of subscriptions rise back to the normal levels March the 1st. Share with your friends, share with professionals, share with anybody you think will benefit from our Substack and our podcast. This is Dr. Rad signing off. Stay radical, stay connected, break on,